Welcome to Flesh and Pod, a Flesh and Blood podcast, breaking down weekly news and notes from the tournament scene, community drama, game strategy, and more. And now, here are your hosts, Abby, Jordan, and Logan.
Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of Flesh and Pod. I am Abby, and I am your host. Along with me are Logan and Jordan again. So how was your guys' week? What'd you guys do in Flesh and Blood this week?
A couple of things. One, I'm never going to get bored of that hello. It is consistently the best part of my week, almost every week. Abby, I have you to thank for that.
Hello.
Hello. It's just always just like, yeah, that's so heartwarming.
I really contemplated adding friends, but then I was like, I don't know, is 3 episodes too soon to be friends? I don't think so, but I don't want to speak for all of our listeners.
I think we're handshake friends and not cuddle friends. Like, we're getting close, I think, with some of the listens we've had and some of the positive reviews, but we're not there yet. Flesh and Blood this week. Yeah, I played in a CC event, played some Prism because I was sick of getting high rolled by Bravo.
Sure.
Right. And then turned around and played a Blitz event, and round 1 got high rolled by Bravo. So, but I do own 6 cold foil baubles, so at least there's that.
Who's the real winner, honestly?
That's a good question.
It's a lot of cold foil baubles, to be honest.
Baubles. So many baubles.
Yeah.
What about you, Jordan?
I played 2 events this week. On Tuesday, I played an Armory event at the Columbus Convention Center's game store, Heroes and Games. I won that one, which was really fun. It was Blitz. I played Bravo. I high rolled a lot of people. I didn't actually go undefeated. I lost to Dorinthia, but on tiebreakers, I won the tournament or whatever. So that was cool. On Friday, I played a classic constructed event. I played Bravo, trying to high roll people, and I went 0-5. That was less than cool. Didn't love that for us. Yeah,
I was worried. I was really worried that you'd stop sucking.
Right, no.
Okay.
To be clear, absolutely not. And to be more accurate, I went 0-4, got the bye, and then left before the 6th round started, because my heart could not take it. So I played 2 of the hybrid Briars back to back, and they went really wide on me. Like, it's really tough for Bravo to deal with, like Bravo, I think.
Can I talk about me feeling smart for a second playing this game, because it's rare?
Sure. Yeah.
Playing Prism against Katsu, which I should lose. I lose the die roll. I think I'm instant dead. Opponent chooses to play second, and I see my opening hand, and I ask them, "Are you sure you want to play second?" And they're like, "Yep, going second." And I'm like, "Okay." Blow Dreamweavers. Make sure you can't Phantasm me. Pitch a yellow. Hit with a Herald. Okay, block. And I'm like, "Okay, pitch another yellow. Play Library on turn 1. Go." BT dubs.
Yeah.
did not lose that game.
No, I can't imagine that you would.
There was also a turn where he's staring at his hand, opponent's staring at their hand, and it's as I'm coming in with a Herald of Erudition, and they have a great hand to combo, and they're like, okay, no blocks. I draw a Herald of Erudition. I'm like, sweet. Play Herald of Erudition. Like, oh my god. All right, well, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound, no blocks. And on that one, I connect and draw another Herald of Erudition. And they're just like, well, now I have to block my whole hand. I'm like, great. This could not have gone better.
I never feel smart in this game. I'm really good at setting up like pummels or like lightning presses or baiting them, but they're like tricks that just like wouldn't work against people that have played card games for more than 5 minutes. They don't work against like my better testing, like teammates and things like that. So it's just kind of like a fun like way to steal wins at like local events.
Also, pummel cost 2.
Yeah. Yes. Pummel cost 2, as I now know and have ingrained in my mind, which is not embarrassing in the slightest. Thank you for the reminder. I never feel smart in this game. And it's getting frustrating, and it's like, this game is hard and I like it, and I'm going to play Classic Constructed tomorrow and go 0-4 and get some holiday baubles. So
they're pretty.
They look really pretty. They're going to be the baubles for my cube.
Oh, so, perfect.
Yeah, I think that's gonna my baubles are gonna be holiday baubles.
Donating baubles to your cube if you don't have enough.
Yeah, exactly. Okay,
that's fair. I'm okay with that.
Or I'll just buy them off you, because I imagine they're actually not going to be cheap.
They're not super expensive, but they're not $0. That's for sure.
Sure, yeah, then I'll definitely buy them off you. But that's my week in Flesh and Blood. Abby, did you get up to anything?
I watched Jordan play on Friday. I did not get off in time to go to the event, but I did go watch him lose his first 2 games against Briar.
It's great.
And it was Briar's just a lot, and if you're not playing Briar, then it's usually not great for you.
The queen of the segue just comes in,
which is certainly not fun for most people. There was a mechanologist player there. I don't know how they ended up doing, but I'm assuming not well. But that was nice to see. Some people still play that for fun, I guess.
Yeah. Playing Prism, I did get fucked up by Dash. That did happen.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just got rolled.
Jordan and I played like 4 games, and we never did anything. You just
with the mechanologist combo deck.
Yes, nothing happened.
Oh yeah, I'll have to link to that deck in the show notes. It was like a data doll like janky combo deck.
Oh no,
yeah.
we're not doing that.
Oh yeah, no, it was really fun.
It was awful.
The best part was Abby's played it first and did nothing, and just
I literally did nothing. Nothing. I couldn't do anything.
For like 3 a couple of times, and that was it. And then I did it in my first action. I put 3 auras into play. It was like, oh, this game's sweet. Like
you still lost.
Still lost, mind you. The deck's not good, but it was really fun to just like cast 1 spell and put 3 auras into play. But
anywho. Moving on. So speaking of Briar, obviously, bans came out last week, right after we posted our episode. No big deal. And nothing was banned in any format at all. Nothing. The next ban is supposed to come out, February 2nd?
Yep. Yeah, right. Yeah, a couple weeks before the ProQuest season starts. So right as Everfest is coming out.
Yes.
Right.
So first question is, did anyone think that nothing was going to be the ban?
So I messed up and didn't think about this correctly. That's me. But I didn't remember that some of the Nationals tournaments had gotten pushed back. This makes complete sense. It is unfair.
Yep.
Yeah, it is unfair to invalidate a month plus of testing. And I've been on the other side of this playing other games to invalidate an entire subset of testing on both sides. Because people that think that they have the tech to beat Briar have been testing against the Briar decks and they think they have a deck. And then if you ban something from Briar, they have to go back to the drawing board, and the same thing with the Briar decks. So it is roundly unfair. And I completely forgot about that. That's something that I'm not too proud of, honestly. I think that what I said prior, on our prior episode stands with what I think could happen prior to the ProQuest season, but I think this is the right call for now.
I think I agree. Yeah, I do feel bad that I forgot about our European friends, and our I guess Oceanic friends as well, who just haven't had the ability to experience like high level play because of their COVID restrictions and the outbreaks and stuff. But I hear I hear the reasoning. That makes sense to me. No complaints. I'll be curious to see what they do on February 2nd, because not a whole lot's going to have changed. So do they still not ban anything and say, hey, we think Everfest is going to solve this? Do they say, hey, you know what? Things are fine and there's puzzles to solve and you guys just need to solve them, as their article kind of alluded to? So it'll be kind of a fun thing to talk about. It looks like we're going to get to have this conversation again here in about 4 or 5 more weeks. So that'll be a fun run out.
I feel like Briar, if Briar clears the bar of 442 Living Legends points after the next round of Nationals, the axe is coming hard. Because that's just insane. And it means people aren't giving up on the deck. They just are like, okay, best deck in the format, just slam it and let's go. Rather than trying to solve the format even further.
And that makes sense. Outscore Chane in the time that you've been alive, right?
Dear God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are now the problem. Like, that's just the end of story.
Right. In 3 months, if you outscore Chane, you need to have a seat.
Yeah, you need to hit the bench. Like, let's talk through that.
Yep. So speaking of Everfest, we got some previews. Is that the word I want?
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah, six
God.
one half dozen the other. I
I can't
It's all-
believe
it's all
I
same,
couldn't
yeah.
think of that word.
It's
Spoilers.
only in the show notes. That's fine.
Dear
Well, I
God.
was looking at the spoilers at this current moment. I am super excited about Valda. Is that how
Valda
we're gonna
Bright
say
Axe.
it? Valda
Valda,
Bright
yeah.
Axe. Big fan. Big fan of that. Very excited to get to play.
Yeah. I don't know much more to say outside of I'm going to get high rolled by Valda now. Great.
Yay!
Yeah, there's a lot about this card that is kind of wild. And
I love
am
the
excited
21
to do it.
life. I love the 21. I love that it's different.
I love that it's literally just Spinal Tap because it's one more, RMs go up to 10 because it's one more than, or go up to 11 because it's one more than 10. And it goes up to 21 because it's one more than 20. And so she's just a Spinal Tapper. That's all it is.
Is she going to be a Blitz only hero?
Yeah, I think so.
So-
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is Blitz only. This is just young.
I mean, that would make sense to me. It is a supplemental set. Like Crucible gave us a bunch of Blitz only heroes, right? So
Mhm.
it wouldn't be that wild. Did you buy any Crazy Brews?
I'm not
As a result of Life of the Party?
taking a deep breath on this. So Life of the
Hold on,
Party.
before you go, Abby, can you read what Life of the Party does? Can you see it on your thing so that people that don't know the spoilers?
I don't think I can zoom in enough for me to read it. Oh, there we
That's
go.
Can you see it?
It's kind of blurry. Okay. You may discard or destroy a card you control.
Oh, Crazy Brew. Yeah.
Yeah, named Crazy Brew.
Is it named? Sorry, that one is super
Yeah,
blurry.
yeah. You want me to read it if you're having a hard time with your copy?
Yeah, I'm struggling. I don't have my glasses
Yeah,
on.
so Life of the Party, and then you actually can't see its cost on the image. Oh, yeah, you can. It's 2. Never mind. I just need to scroll.
It's irrelevant.
Yeah, you're never going to pay for it. You can discard or destroy a card named Crazy Brew instead of paying Life of the Party's cost. And if you do, you choose all of the modes on the card. Otherwise, you choose one at random. And it's a 2 attack, 2 defense card for its blue version, and it looks like it's a 4 for its red. When it hits, you gain 2. It can gain 2 attack, and it can gain go again. So basically, if you're going to discard Crazy Brew, and it's going to gain hit 2, go again, and +2. So it's going to attack for 6 on the red version with go again and gain 2. It's a really convoluted way of me explaining the card. But basically, Crazy Brew is going to enable all 3 modes of this kind of wonky card. And its price has gone nuts on TCG Player over the past week.
Yeah. Which I found out I had a bunch of foils of Crazy Brew, so yay me. But
Yeah, that's exciting. I found out that I had copies after I bought 6. I had 5, so
okay,
that was good. So now I own 11. So
fair enough.
Yeah, very good decision from Jordan here.
This is, in discussing with some other people, this does feel like a great value branded Light and Strike, where your best case scenario is you're attacking 6 go again and gaining 2, and it's costing you a card to do so. That is gone from your deck. Where in Light and Strike, it's pretty easy to give it go again without ever having to use the go again mode of Enlightened Strike. There's various things that help that along. Then on top of that, you can make it hit for 7, or you can be 5 draw a card, so it replaces the card that you bottomed, which didn't get discarded. So to me, there's some push and pull. So they're both effectively zeros if we're bringing in the Crazy Brew argument, and they do a lot. That doesn't mean that you're not going to play Life of the Party in the same deck as Enlightened Strike. It just means that to me it's kind of too cute by half, but it remains to be seen if that just holds true, because Crazy Brew on its own is a PvE card to me, and it's it's kind of cool. It has great art and it's sort of fun. So we'll see. This seems like this is the Coxa Commotion Crazy Brew Life of the Party card, deck in a PvE environment would just be a blast, and I'd love to play it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Like, I want to try a deck that has this in it, maybe at like a one-off armory event, or like you said, if we set up like a PvE environment, or even maybe in I don't even know what the multiplayer format's actually called. Brawl
Ultimate
fight,
Pit Fight.
Ultimate Pit Fight. Yeah. This would be really fun to do in that. But we'll see. I mean, I think it's a pretty cool card. I think the economy implication was really funny. There were like 250 sales on the day that this got spoiled alone of Crazy Brew. So that was kind of fun.
I love that humans have never changed, and
Never.
They still just overreact at all points in time, and it's amazing. It's gotten me paid on more than one occasion. It's lost me money on more than one occasion, but I just like that it's consistent, I guess.
We are all fish and sharks all at the same time.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
That's the old story of if you walk into a room, the first thing to do is to look around and identify the mark. If you cannot identify the mark, turn around and leave, because you are the mark.
Yeah, precisely. And I never leave when I'm the mark. I never.
Well, I mean, okay, so
you can't characteristic of a mark, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that is just literally the characteristic of a mark. I do. If you guys are ready, let's talk about. I mean, like, we can talk about the armory kit. Is there anything? Has Bravo ever looked sexier? Like, I just need to know. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty straight white male, but man, Bravo's got me asking questions.
I am 100% starting to feel the need to have a drinking with Bravo segment on the show based on literally all of Bravo's arts. So drinking with Bravo tonight, I'm drinking a Flanders Red Sour from Sun King with cherries called Cherry Busey, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, wow.
We're punning. We're punning with our beers right now. And it is delectable, and it's my favorite annual beer that you can buy. Just is every year perfect, and I love it, and I spend way too much money on it. This is drinking with Bravo. There we go.
Now all we need is one of those breweries to pay for that, and we would be off the races.
No, God, are you trying to get me a liver replacement before I'm 45?
I mean, it's going to happen in either way or not. But I want this playmat. I need to win an armory event to get this playmat.
Every Bravo stan is going to be coming at that. So honestly, if you want this playmat, just play Prism.
It's actually a great point. Damn, I'm big sad now.
Oh, bummer.
Sorry to come at you like that, but everybody's like, if I can get Bravo playmat with Bravo, that's just everything. That just sets up my Bravo shrine in the corner of my house with, bush light and shitty incense. And
hey, don't forget my pouches of nicotine, man.
Oh yeah, we got to make sure we have our Smoky Mountain snuff in there too, and we're just gonna hang out, and we're gonna just worship Bravo with this playmat, knowing that I got this playmat with Bravo, and I'm gonna roll up with Prism and be like, yeah, this is 7 Spectral Shields. Go fuck yourself.
Oh my god, my heart hurts thinking about that. But
I just wanted to make you feel it.
Yeah. The only other quick thing to add about this armory kit is that it's more OP announcements for 2022. I mean, we knew there would be an armory kit for January, but
absolutely,
it is nice to see another thing, and just makes me think we're getting closer to LSS dropping some calling dates.
So can I complain? Can I do that?
Why else start?
By all means.
Yeah, well, I'll start a podcast. That's maybe the most honest thing I've ever heard. So without the calling announcement, LSS, if you're listening, without any calling announcements for Q1, I'm seeing less attendance at events and less people invested, and I feel like the game is losing steam. There's still a lot of cool things happening. I'm not saying they aren't. But we're going to go basically a solid month, right, between now and the Farewell to Wraith events, and with nothing, just nothing. We're going to get Everfest previews, but event-wise, we're staring at stone cold nothing. If we had a calling schedule or something to look at to like know what we're preparing for outside of the 3 week in a day, so 22-day ProQuest season, I think you'd keep more people invested. And right now I'm seeing investment as players start to wane. Now we'll talk later about investment as collectors because holy mother of God. But when it comes to the engaged player base, I feel like it's losing steam, and I think that a calling announcement for Q1 at least would help alleviate some of that attrition.
I agree with you. I just don't have that same experience.
Okay.
Our local events have had like 22, 25, 26 players for armories. So I feel lucky having heard your local player interest dwindle. It also could be that my local player base maybe is less driven by that like thing.
Sure.
Than like the thing you and I care about is competitive high end play, right?
Yeah.
It could just be that like the stores that are getting these events are going to get these events from a casual perspective until the game dies. That's very possible too. So
yeah,
but I feel lucky about my own communities now hearing that, because that's a downer. That's not easy.
It's not. It's not like that we haven't had new players come in, but it's been kind of like a 1-to-1 attrition level. And I understand it's the holiday season, that might be some of it. But at the same time, just like the people that I'm talking about that have kind of lapsed a little bit or less active in our Discord, one person just sold out their entire collection to me, nonetheless. Which was a great buy. I'm not mad about buying it. I'm just losing a person in the community that was engaged to play, and I really had a conversation with them and said, hey, you may not have cards anymore, but if you felt like you had time to play and wanted to play, I'm a message at Discord away from building whatever you want to play. And then on top of that, like if it's limited, you don't have to build anything. You just show up. And just trying to make sure that they stayed engaged at some point. But I just don't want to lose anybody in this game, because I think this game is worth keeping around and playing for the long haul. I think it's great, and I want it to survive, and I want it to thrive.
Right.
I wouldn't talk about it weekly for an hour on recorded if I didn't. So, like, let's call it a spade.
You do talk a lot.
Well, for fuck's sake, Abby, did we have to? But I do. I know I do talk a lot, and honestly, not to put too fine a point on it, but my podcast partners are also great. They're human beings that I love dearly, and so that helps a lot too.
Well, thanks. I'm greater than Jordan, but shh.
I did not qualify. I let that y'all take care of that part. I'm not about to step into that fucking mire.
Moving on. So along with the Armory preview kit, we also got a breakdown on what the Everfest packs are going to look like. So we've got less commons, more rares, majestic, and legendary. And then the pack breakdown is 7 commons, 2 rare or higher, and then a foil per packet.
Yeah.
Right.
To be clear, for people that don't know what pack distribution currently is, the big change there is actually in the rare slot. So currently, up through Tales of Aria, a pack had 7 commons, 1 rare or higher, and 1 foil. Now those rare slots are both going to be rare or higher, so your chances of getting like a really busted pack of like mystic, foil mystic are possible. It's possible you get no rares and get all mystics and legendaries, which is really cool.
Majestic, but close enough.
Majestic.
Majestic. Abby and I have been calling it mythic and mystic and majestic.
Yep.
And
we have been all over the place.
Yeah, and I started out calling them mythics for the first 2 months, so I get it, because you guys have only been playing for 8 weeks or whatever it is.
3.5 days.
Yeah, whatever it is. This is cute, if nothing else. It's a lot of guesswork, I guess, because 2 rare or higher. Okay, so the way that legendaries seem to work on the sheet would make it seem to me that it would be impossible to get 2 legendaries in a pack. However, in Crucible, the skull cap will not be foil, so it won't show up in the foil slot. So theoretically, you could get a skull cap and a foil legendary, since they'd be on different sheets.
Sure.
But you could only ever get 2 legendaries in a pack at max.
So you can't. We're not going to see a guy on Reddit say, "I got 3 legendaries."
I don't think so, because I think there's only
Yeah.
going to be one legendary reprint.
I think that's probably true. Yeah, and I mean, and honestly, I think what the quote busted pack of this is the thing you might see a lot, maybe even once per box or once per case, a pack that is mystic. You know,
Or Majestics, you're still close.
Majestic.
yeah, wow, yeah, marvelous. I'm gonna start
Jeez.
calling them marvelouses.
It's fine.
Yeah, where like a very realistic pack per case could be majestic, foil, majestic.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's interesting, because I want to see the sheet organization more than anything else.
Yeah,
But the fact that these could have more high roll packs is sort of interesting in and of itself. That does lead me to believe that Skullcap is the only reprinted legendary. I do think, because of Life of the Party, we'll see a Crazy Brew reprint at either Rare or Majestic, because there's no super rares. I think that we get either E-Strike or Command and Conquer. I think it's probably Command and Conquer for reprints. What about these other 2 legendaries, though? Thinking that they're not reprints, what
right.
do you think they are?
I don't know. I've seen a
Obviously.
lot of speculation about like another shield, like another like a Bravo shield being brought into the game. That would be disappointing, to be honest.
Yeah.
A Bravo shield would be a bit sad. But that's one thing I've seen on Reddit a lot, is people speculating that it's a shield. So who knows what that
Okay.
means.
Abby, do you have any thoughts?
I think it's going to be 2 Runeblade cards. You know, they're
Okay, well,
we just got to make them better. You know,
that's just logic. But so I think one of them is a hero, and it's a bard.
Ooh,
And
Oh,
it's
interesting.
specifically geared to PvE, but it's a bard. I think that's one. I think the other one. Oh, okay. So what I want for the other one is a crossbow weapon for ranger that attacks for 1. So it has like a butt stroke capability to it, like good old the shoddy in Halo, where you just slap the butt up into their chin.
Yeah.
So It just has an attack for 1, so that ranger has an actual weapon, and maybe Azalea stops sucking. But
Man, I don't know if they give Ranger something that can always attack.
I think it is the dysfunction of Ranger, and there's 2 Rangers, and one of them has 0 living legend points. But
True.
it could also be something to make Brute a little bit better too. I could see that as well, giving Brute an actual chest, something that blocks for 4 maybe. Because Levia can use Husk, but Levia also has 0 living legend points. But I think that something to just give Brute a little bit extra might be on the docket too. If it's Runeblade, I might set fire to my entire collection. Just saying.
Well, just mail it to me instead.
I'll mail you the ashes. Is that good enough?
I don't think they'll let you do that.
You can't mail ashes?
Probably not. You probably can't mail body.
It's not a
Byproduct?
body. It's cardboard.
I'm trying to think.
Oh,
if,
duh.
Yeah, I
Fucking
don't.
Christ, what are you? All right, never mind. I'm
I
gonna
don't
keep
know,
drinking.
man.
Apparently, I've been drinking all night, and I'm the sober one. That's weird.
Yeah, the Browns do more to my body than alcohol and drugs ever could.
It is
That's fair.
also way past Jordan and I's bedtime, so
We're approaching it. We've recorded this one later than normal, so that's fair.
Yeah.
To be fair,
one
my
of-
bedtime's like 7 p.m. So
Wow, you're okay.
I'm not exaggerating, to be honest. One of the interesting things that has came out of the data sheet for Everfest was coalesced by the Collision Point blog, which we'll put a link to his blog and stuff in the show notes. But there are literally more legendaries, majestics, and rares than there were in Crucible, and there are less commons. So players are going to have more access to those majestics and rares and legendaries this time around.
I think that in investment wise, the flip side ends up being that some of these commons in first edition, specifically foil commons, become a much better investment than other sets too. If you just have them, there's less of them in theory.
Yeah.
So
right.
it just might be, again, and this is, I feel like this game is going to last the next 5 years, or else I wouldn't have, the time I put into it doing various things, and also the size of collection I have if I didn't. But I feel like there are little turning points like this that you can kind of see, okay, there's a slight turn in the market here that could happen with this set, and being on the right side of it could matter later down the road.
Especially when you consider, so just looking at like raw numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Crucible, there were 95. It's like 95? Am I doing math right? 92?
Those numbers are not close.
95 non-commons, and there were 103 commons in Crucible.
Yes.
There are 106 non-commons in Everfest compared to 88.
Right. And those 88 commons, because the way pack distributions are going to actually also appear less.
Right, because there are more cards that could possibly be in the foil slot. Right. Yeah, and I mean, and hey, the number of Majestics is up from Crucible World. So again, those like dream packs where you go Majestic, like foil Majestic, are well in the game because 100%. Of it, So I think you're right that there's something to be done if you are on the investment side. There's something here.
And if you want to play in the margins, this is interesting.
Yeah. And if you're a player too, this is going to increase your access to those more powerful cards, which is good too. So, I'm excited. I bought a case of Everfest. Have you gotten any products secured yet? Or
yeah, we're on 2 cases and debating the third. So, honestly, I figure I'll open the Fabled in the first case because of reasons, but it's
right. The run hots never end.
You know what? If the run hots never end, I'll be a happy camper. So we'll go with it.
We're kicking around case 2. That's where we're at. And then, but like every time I buy, I'm not good at sealed product. Abby and I have been like 0 for X on sealed product since start of this year with all the things we've opened. So
sure,
I don't know. We're jaded on sealed product.
I understand.
Sure. Yeah,
we've opened the best cards we've gotten. Just want to make that clear.
Almost always better to buy singles, but if if you're a D-gen that loves ripping packs, that's me. That's Jordan.
I just love opening boosties. I could do it for days. I could just, I mean, I don't, it is my favorite part for sure.
All right, let's get into weird shit real quick. Do you smell the cards? Do you do it? Are you
they don't have the same smell magic you
They don't. They don't. It makes me so sad.
It's worse. It just smells like plastic. It's not magic packs.
I think their wear code is different. It doesn't have that same just like, oh yeah, this is like 2/3 of a musty bookstore.
Yep. That was exactly it. Yeah.
I was a card smeller though, man. Like back in the day, up through basically I'm old as fuck. Zendikar. Those packs has had that London bookstore smell. It smells like rain, cardboard, and self-loathing, and those are 3 of my favorite things.
That's my whole personality.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, absolutely. For Christmas, I put in Abby's stocking. We've opened these already, so this isn't a spoiler. But I gave her a booster pack from each set.
Well, that's kind
of
like
open. Yeah,
because
she likes cracking the boosties. So.
Love boosties.
I'm a sucker.
It is the best.
And also, like, if things shake out, I might just come to Columbus and crack boosties with you. So,
oh my gosh, that'd be dope.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
There'd be so many.
There'd be so many boosties.
So many. All right, we gotta
speaking of buying cards, TCG Player put out an article about their collectible card game sales. Flesh and Blood is 4th on their top 10 selling CCG games on Black Friday. And Flesh and Blood has grown 3,700% on Black Friday.
A real
sales.
number, apparently.
it is wild looking at the chart, which we'll link in the
So
in the
percent
show
means
notes.
percent by definition means per 100, and so 3,700 per 100.
Yep.
The fuck.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I was in a pretty good discussion on Reddit about this today, actually. And to be clear, for anybody that doesn't look at numbers like this a lot or doesn't live in this space a ton, and these are just like numbers, the biggest takeaway is that Flesh and Blood is the fourth biggest selling game on TCG Player. Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon take up your top three. It is safe to say that, like, in the environment we found ourselves in, those will never change. Not like absent like a big market shakeup, right?
Right.
The fact that Flesh and Blood is above Digimon, which is another big release this year, Card Fight Vanguard, Dragon Ball Z, and then Final Fantasy, which is like a strong IP behind its TCG. The fact that it's fourth above all those other games and in spitting reach of Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon industry titans is crazy. The 3,700% number is really cool, and it's a wild number to look at. But compared to like Magic, it has more room to grow, right? Compared to Yu-Gi-Oh, it has more room to grow, whatever. That number is cool, but like the Flesh and Blood being the fourth largest selling game on the website is bananas. And anybody that goes, oh, nobody plays this game, or like this game's a fad or whatever, that's a tough number to argue with. That
they're not paying attention.
Force of Will never did that, like that is a very tough number to get in behind.
It's not just in fourth; it's a strong fourth. It's comfortably fourth, if I remember the chart right. I guess I can just look at it. But the thing that I take away, and I'm hoping I remember this correctly because when I read it, I double taked, was the month of September that Tales of Aria came out was the first time in TCG Player's sales history that Magic was not the number one sealed product sold on the site. It was Flesh and Blood.
Wow.
That's crazy. If you understand what that in and of itself means, that's incredible. Because Magic sealed product, I mean, one, they release 1 billion sealed products every month, it feels like. And two, that game has been around since before, before the internet. So you're staring down, getting on top of 3 massive legacy IPs, and one of them is the game that defines the card game industry. And just having that for 1 month still says a ton.
The only thing this article leaves out that I would like to see is they did for the top 3 games. So for Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, they listed the top 10 best-selling singles, and I really would have liked to have seen that for Flesh and Blood. But,
I was just looking at that. That would be nice to see what it was.
Short.
That's interesting.
From a business perspective or like a rights perspective, this data that TCG Player released is worth thousands of dollars. It's very surprising to see them give it up for free.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts to see them give this all up for free. Like, they could have sold this to Flesh and Blood or to Magic or to whatever for, I mean, we're talking like double to triple digits of worth of data.
Yeah.
And it's just right here for free. So
the thing that always gets me is that after a certain point in time, you can literally go to Flesh and Blood's website and look at their print run for any set. They tell you how much is out there. You don't have to guess. You don't have to do your own work. It's just there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That's a level of transparency that we've never seen.
Yeah.
Not easily, at least.
Right. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised TCG Player didn't keep this as like proprietary data. Like, they could direct market with this so well and like, use their algorithms and stuff so well, but they gave it all away for free. I mean, I bet you Hasbro would have paid like 6 figures for this.
Probably.
This article, like, this could have been the presentation from TCG Player to Hasbro, and they would have paid 6 figures for it.
So I think this is. I think this change relates to them showing actual sales data on the website now, which has been immensely helpful any number of times. But
True.
So you can see what something has sold for rather than what things are posted for. So, you have a card that TCG, the lowest listing now is $780, let's say. you can look to see if anything's ever sold for anything close to that. Normally, no. If it's something that you're like, wow, that's a giant spike, and then you're like, oh, the last one sold for $320, and this is just the last ones listed. Just made up numbers. So
yeah, market price means nothing anymore.
We'll talk through that on a different episode, and I will go.
Yes.
I will go into full vendor mode on that episode, but we'll save that for a different day.
Yes. Yeah. Sadly, with all of the good news that we've had, definitely some sad news. The Utrech. Utrech. Their calling got canceled because of COVID.
Sucks.
Which it had been previously pushed back, correct? And then they had to cancel it. Yeah.
It was supposed to be in 2020. It was going to be in, I believe, January of 2022 or 2021. Excuse me, 2022. Yeah.
It was in 2021, and that got
it was supposed to be 2021 originally, and then it was pushed to 2022.
Right, and then now because of
it was pushed. Yeah, you're right. It was pushed from 2021 to later in 2021, then pushed to 2022, and now canceled. That's right.
Which, what a bummer for the European contingent of players.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for them. You know, it's just I understand we're in a time that, and again, this is unfathomable to me too, where we're staring at a card game that has its entire hallmark based on in-person play, that has seen unprecedented growth during a time when no one can sit in each other's living rooms. And I feel for the European market in this one, because I know a lot of people that were looking forward to Utrecht, and I hope this doesn't impact anything else. But yeah, I feel for them.
Definitely, yeah. I would like to say that, you know, hey, early this first quarter of next year we see some changes, but who knows, man? World's crazy.
Yeah, so. Who knows what's going to happen? All right, so moving on to our Reddit thread of the week. This week's Reddit thread of the week is going to be part of a new semi-reoccurring segment where we take a deep dive into a topic. So today we're going to quote Think Below. Shout out to Blitzmonkey for that. And we are going to talk about this. We will have the Reddit thread linked in the notes. Really good topic. It's long, but it's certainly worth the read. It was posted by Vicarious One, and he talks about how living legend systems can impact player attitude. So you want your champion to win because that's your champion, but at the same time, can you want your champion to win? If you love Briar, you have to be rooting against Briar, because you're going to lose Briar with the living legend system that's currently set up. And so it brings into play like how that affects people's attitudes when your champion is good like that. And then on top of that, you know, there's other effects like if you're a new person, you come in right now and you fall in love with Briar because it's the best, but then turn around in, 3 months, and you can't play Briar anymore. As a new player, I came in, that's what I wanted. I bought cards to play that, and now I can't. And how does that affect a person in a new player perspective?
So yeah, this is interesting. Because in the car ride to go collect our foil baubles, we actually discussed something similar to this, where we talked pretty much at length about the living legend system. I think that this is something that LSS, if you're listening, how often am I going to say that? I feel like the living legend system exists for two reasons. One, to create sort of an eternal format, which is great. I love eternal formats. And for people that don't know, eternal formats means that you have things that you can play anything. So like in an eternal format that would exist later down the road, years down the road, maybe you can play Seeds of Agony and Drone of Brutality, right? Because your card pool that you're playing otherwise is so huge, it doesn't matter. In this case, what I think happens when you have heroes that retire, especially the ones that were in the original few sets, is you kind of just get fixed versions of them. So the one that came up was Chane gets retired. I mean, it's the top of the leaderboard, right? And people have continually found ways to make Chane good because reading the card explains the card. Uh, and so Chane Bound by Shadows gets Living Legend retired. What stops them from releasing Chane Unbound in the next supplemental set? And it's just a Runeblade, not Shadow Runeblade. So you're removing all of the old Chane cards, or it's a something else Runeblade with its own subset of cards. But you still get to play in the Chane specializations or whatever. Like, there's so much design space because of the Living Legend system and how it works that I think it creates a really cool counterplay to the system of rotating formats in other games.
I think Vicarious One, the OP of this Reddit post, proposed one of those solutions you were just talking about with like alternative hero design, where he referred to them as, or I guess they referred to them as apprentice heroes, who, you know, in the lore you could say they were inspired by the deeds of the legends and want to follow in their footsteps. But they have mechanics akin to their legend, and so the meta gets a shake up, but the fans of the retiring hero still get to play that style. And I think that's funny that that's what you're talking about almost to a T as well, is that design space exists to let them do that. So just because this chain gets statused out doesn't mean that the future chains will. There was a lot of, down in the comments, there were some interesting takes on the Living Legend system where I definitely get where Vicarious One is coming from with their perspective, for sure. I don't ultimately agree, because I've played games where cards rotate based on a set time, and that feels worse than this. But I get where they're coming from. I can appreciate the difference of perspective. There were some takes in reply to this that I can't get behind. Some people were saying that the Living Legend system seems designed to make them spend more money. And listen, friend, if you've thought that, you don't know how good you have it in the Flesh and Blood space, because cards coming out of a game are important to like the meta's life and health. Cards rotating out on a fixed time frame is the literal definition of, I'm going to extract X amount of dollars from you on a timetable that I can put in a spreadsheet and hand to an investor. So like, the Living Legend system, while eventually may cause a person that plays Runeblade now to play, Guardian later and have to buy a bunch of new cards, that's way different than, hey, October of next year, you're not allowed to play Briar anymore. And there's not a great middle ground that exists if you want to keep a competitive metal game healthy. So there were 4 or 5 people that were like, this is just LSS trying to take money, which, listen, I'm not going to simp for companies. They don't need my help. But LSS has not done much in the way of trying to greedily take your money in the way that like a Hasbro or like a Pokemon would,
You want to see money grabs? We have a lot of examples.
Yeah. Like, if you think that Living Legend is the way to extract money from you, you have it good. I get where you're coming from in the sense of having prior purchases invalidated feels bad. I definitely get that. But there are enough ways in this framework of a game to not have to do that. Like, there will always be another Runeblade. There are multiple Guardians. There are multiple ninjas. There are and there will be multiples of every type at some point, right?
Yeah.
So if your purchases will never be invalidated absent a banning, and even then, go play some Ultimate Pit Fight, man. I don't know.
And if you feel like that what we're saying doesn't jive with you, and you don't, and you're still seeing this as money grab, go ahead and post in our Discord 2 questions if you don't know other games. The 2 questions to pose to kind of get us to talk about this and go into full flame mode are, what is the reserve list and what is secret layer? And at that point in time, we will probably incinerate our entire Discord and have to start over.
Yeah, at that point, I think we will know. Yeah, I just will delete my internet account. The entire internet account.
Whole thing.
Yeah, you're going to delete all of the internet.
Yeah,
well,
might as well.
Of it. It's all gone.
I don't
we have to go back to talking to people.
That's
Can you
totally
imagine?
Fine. I have a degree in that. Let's go.
I don't want to do that. There's a virus
Oh, right, the virus. Yeah, that is
Yeah. I don't want to do that.
All right,
But no, and I definitely get people that this might be their first TCG. This might be, like Flesh and Blood, like we talked about, is expensive and it is an investment, and it feels bad to have prior purchases invalidated. I completely hear that.
Absolutely.
It is difficult for me to not find humor when people say that these types of systems are clear money grabs when they are vital to the health of a healthy competitive metagame. And there were people in the comments on the Reddit thread that had a great perspective. They go, I don't care about competitive play. I'm going to play these decks that I want with my friends, regardless of the hit Living Legend, regardless of whatever. That's great. And I hope that people that maybe think that like these things are cash money grabs can find a little bit of that side of it to alleviate that burden that they feel, that your purchases aren't invalidated except for, this narrow prospect of playing competitively.
Yeah.
Seriously, though, go read this thread. Like I said, I ultimately disagree, but Vicarious One did a great job of laying out their argument. The top rated posts in there are really good comments, and there's a lot of really good discussion. Scroll further down, you get a headache, but like
it's informative. It very much so is.
It's really good. The downside, well, no, you know what? We reached a good stopping point. I won't do it. I could completely just
we can do this for a while because both of us talk ad nauseum to begin with.
You can.
It's a really good thread and it's a really good discussion. And I know we call this a deep dive, but we're running low on time. And but I love it. I love it.
But here's the thing: we can keep deep diving in our Discord.
Yeah, bring the discussion to Discord.
Message us.
Yeah, we are engaging.
Exactly.
We like to talk to
They'll
people.
Respond all day. I'll respond between the hours of 7 and 10. Let's go. Keep talking about it.
Abby has office hours. That's the fucking best.
Throw. Yeah. To catch Professor Abby's office hours.
Jordan and I the office is open anytime, and Abby's like 7 and 10 assholes.
That's right. That's right. That's for a reasonable response time. You can message me at 8 a.m. I'll just see it eventually.
All right,
listener questions this week, we don't have any. We do have some. If you've posted one and we haven't talked about it, I don't want you to think that we are not looking at it. But some of the questions we've gotten, we have paired up with future segments that we want to bring those together. So keep sending questions. We will do them. If we have an episode coming up that kind of fits that theme, we'll most certainly hold it and tie it into that. So don't fret if your question has not been asked yet.
Yeah, Chuck. So if when we get to that rules question that you asked, we do give a fuck about the rules. We understand this isn't NOM. There are rules. So we will get to your question.
I'm glad you said that because Chuck's question about comprehensive rules is going to come up when we get closer to Everfest. And then we had another question about community building and how to get new players into the game. And we're going to have a whole episode with guests on community building and getting players
absolutely.
into the game. So if you were like, oh, that was like a vague shadow tweet about somebody's question, those are the two questions we have pending. They're tied directly to really good episodes that we have ideas for in the future.
Yeah, they're almost entire episodes on their own.
Yeah, for sure. And that's I think what the plan ultimately is going to be. And so if you have questions otherwise, though, please keep sending them in. That's probably my favorite part is seeing people engage and ask questions. And I like to pretend that I'm smart. So,
well,
exactly.
Don't we all? Abby is smart. We pretend. The other two of us pretend. Okay, she did marry Jordan. Okay, fine.
And no one runs hot all the time.
Can I get a drum roll? Can you drum roll on a mic? I don't want to mess it up.
We can add one in. We can add one in post. Can you?
I'm not going to do that. I'm not.
Okay.
Well, fine. Fuck it.
Well, I drum rolled in here, whether you can hear it or not. I drum rolled in my heart. So
it's a good place.
Our giveaway winner is a Cynical Dragon. Thank you for your kind comments and review. We will do our best to keep up with the quote classic Midwestern banter. We're good at that. That is one thing that we are good at. So a Cynical Dragon, please shoot us an email to fleshandpod@gmail.com or DM us on Twitter or in the Discord with your mailing information so that we can get that box shipped out to you. We will be announcing our next giveaway on our episode next week. So episode 4. So be on the lookout for that.
Quick thing. Ab, for Cynical Dragon, shoot me proof that you're also that person. Like shoot me like a screenshot of like your account page or something, just so that like if I get more than one person claiming to be Cynical Dragon, I can like fix that. I don't expect that to be an issue, but now that I said it, it will be. So like, you know,
moral of the story is there's lots of Cynical Dragons out there, so we need to make sure you're Cynical Dragon, the Cynical Dragon. That's weird.
Everyone's really excited for that third compartment to store their snacks.
Big snacking.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, so exactly. Yeah, if you could just like end that thing, shoot me like a screenshot of like your account page. You can blur out anything you don't want me to see, obviously, but like, prove you're you, dragon person,
Cynical Dragon person.
As always, you can follow us on Twitter at FleshPod, and you can join our Discord. We'll have the link. Disco
Stew doesn't advertise.
We will have the link to the Discord in the show notes. Give us a 5-star review on Apple, or like us on YouTube, or retweet us on Twitter. All of those things. If you don't use any of those things, or you want, you can shoot us an email at fleshandpod@gmail.com. And we will get back to you on that.
As for me, you can find me on Twitter at I'mJorman. That's IMJORMAN. You can DM me on Discord, which I have DMs open for people I share a Discord with. So if you join our Discord, you can shoot me a DM. Always talking flesh and blood or sports, or tonight it's about crying because the Cleveland Browns break my heart. And I'm down to talk about whatever. Politics, gambling, cards, whatever you want to talk about, I'm down to talk about.
And you can find me at Logan Peterson, PETERSEN, on Twitter. Also, just follow us on @FleshPod. And this is going to seem a little self-serving because it fucking is. But I would really like to get a preview card for a set from LSS. And we probably need our Twitter presence to be bigger. Because I think it'd be cool to finally have like that little notch in the belt of something that I've been able to do to say, hey, I got to spoil a card on the internet. That kind of makes me a thing, right? It doesn't. It really doesn't.
I don't even have anybody I could tell that to besides people on this podcast, but like, it would be cool.
It would mean something to me. I mean, I think it would mean something to you.
That's what I mean. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I didn't mean to disparage your dream. I meant that is like, the only people I would rush to tell are the people that would obviously know, but I still want to do it.
I've 100% tried harder for less. So,
yeah.
You know, if you want to pop in there, give us a follow. Abby and I try to be the more responsive ones on Twitter. Jordan is just an epic shit poster, so there's that. And much like Jordan, I have my DMs open on Discords that I share with people, so you can DM me at any point in time. It's just Logan Peterson on Discord because I don't believe in internet anonymity at all.
That's actually a really fun conversation that we could do a whole show on.
But we don't have time for it right now.
Oh god damn!
Slap down! Wow, have fun picking your dick out of the dirt. That was just kicked straight down.
Quit longer about this, man.
Okay, so if we're trying to get the Twitter up, I will plug my personal Twitter again. If you tweet at Flesh and Pod, you'll get a more timely response. My personal Twitter is AbbyD83, ABBIE, because I spelled my name as Abby should. I think it's also in the Flesh and Pod notes on the Twitter, so I guess I wasn't ever really living in
anonymity is a
anonymity.
That's right.
Lilium is a good house music band.
Lilium, I love them. But yeah, tell us how much you like us. We'll tell you how much we like you. We're friends now. We've established it, so now it's just. Now we're on the up and up. Tell your friends about your new friends.
Yeah, and we'll be friendly for the most part.
Exactly. I'll be super nice always.
I can't wait to be at a big event and have listeners that come up and say, "Are you?" And then I just get to say no. Yeah. Because they're going to ask if I'm Jordan. Not me. They're going to ask if I'm Jordan. That's
yeah. Or somebody's going to ask if I'm Abby, and it's just going to be so confusing.
It's going to be so weird.
Yeah. But.
All right, that's it. It's a wrap. Bye, friends.